Chapter 7. Jason. As soon as Jason saw the house, he knew he was a dead man. "Here we are," Drew said cheerfully. "The big house, camp headquarters." It didn't look very threatening, just a 4-story manor painted baby blue with white trim. The wraparound porch had a lounge chair, card tables, and an empty wheelchair. Wind chimes shaped like nymphs turned into trees as they spun. Jason could imagine old people coming here for summer vacation, sitting on the porch and sipping prune juice while they watched the sunset. Still, the windows seemed to glare down at him like angry eyes. The wide-open doorway looked ready to swallow him. On the highest gable, a bronze eagle weather vane spun in the wind and pointed straight in his direction, as if telling him to turn around. Every molecule in Jason's body told him he was on enemy ground. "I'm not supposed to be here," he said. Drew circled her arm through his. "Oh, please, you're perfect here, sweetie. Believe me, I've seen a lot of heroes." Drew smelled like Christmas, a strange combination of pine and nutmeg. Jason wondered if she always smelled like that, or if it was some kind of special perfume for the holidays. Her pink eyeliner was really distracting. Every time she blinked, he felt compelled to look at her. Maybe that was the point, to show off her warm brown eyes. She was pretty, no doubt about that, but she made Jason feel uncomfortable. He slipped his arm away as gently as he could. "Look, I appreciate..." "Is it that girl?" Drew pouted. "Oh, please tell me you're not dating the dumpster queen." "You mean Piper? Jason wasn't sure how to answer. He didn't think he'd ever seen Piper before today, but he felt strangely guilty about it. He knew he shouldn't be in this place. He shouldn't befriend these people, and certainly he should not date one of them. Still, Piper had been holding his hand when he woke up on that bus. She believed she was his girlfriend. She'd been brave out on the skywalk fighting those Venti, and when Jason had caught her in midair and they'd held each other face to face, he couldn't pretend he wasn't a little tempted to kiss her. But that wasn't right. He didn't even know his own story. He couldn't play with her emotions like that. Drew rolled her eyes. "Let me help you decide, sweetie. You can do better. A guy with your obvious talent..." She wasn't looking at him, though. She was staring at a spot above his head. "You're waiting for a sign," he guessed. "Like what popped over Leo's head?" "What? No. Well, yeah, from what I heard, you're pretty powerful, right? You're gonna be important at camp, so I figure your parent will claim you right away, and I'd love to see that. I want to be with you every step of the way. So, is your dad or mom the god? Please tell me it's not your mom. I would hate if you were an Aphrodite kid." "Why?" "Then you'd be my half-brother, silly. You can't date someone from your own cabin. Yuck." "But aren't all the gods related?" Jason asked. "So isn't everyone here your cousin or something?" "Aren't you cute? Sweetie, the godly side of your family doesn't count except for your parents. So anybody from another cabin, they're fair game. So who's your godly parent? Mom or dad?" As usual, Jason didn't have an answer. He looked up, but no glowing sign popped up above his head. At the top of the big house, the weather vane was still pointing in his direction, that bronze eagle glaring as if to say, "Turn around, kid, while you still can." Then he heard footsteps on the front porch. No, not footsteps. Hooves. "Chiron!" Drew called. "This is Jason. He's totally awesome." Jason backed up so fast he almost tripped. Rounding the corner of the porch was a man on horseback. Except he wasn't on horseback. He was part of the horse. From the waist up, he was human, with curly brown hair and a well-trimmed beard. He wore a t-shirt that said "World's Best Centaur," and had a quiver and bow strapped to his back. His head was so high up he had to duck to avoid the porch lights, because from the waist down, he was a white stallion. Chiron started to smile at Jason. Then, the color drained from his face. "You!" The centaur's eyes flared like a cornered animal's. "You should be dead." Chiron ordered Jason, well, invited, but it sounded like an order, to come inside the house. He told Drew to go back to the cabin, which Drew didn't look too happy about. The centaur trotted over to the empty wheelchair on the porch. He slipped off his quiver and bow and backed up to the chair, which opened like a magician's box. Chiron gingerly stepped into it with his back legs and began scrunching himself into a space that should have been much too small. Jason imagined a truck's reverse noises, beep, 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 as the centaur's lower half disappeared and the chair folded up, popping out a set of fake human legs over the blanket, so Chiron appeared to be a regular mortal guy in a wheelchair.